Good morning, Ian Crouch with your 8:30 Hunter News update. Worried Malabula residents have called police after they spotted a drink driver crash into a street sign and then fall out of her stationary car onto the road. Officers arrived and breath tested the woman, who allegedly returned a reading more than 7 times the legal limit. The 35-year-old was taken to Lemon Tree Passage Police Station, where it's claimed she blew .275, 5.4 times the limit. She's had her licence suspended and will face court next month, charged with high-range drink driving. Newcastle Airport is still to secure funding to undertake the major part of a $56 million runway extension project. The upgrade will allow the airport to handle international flights. Defence Minister Linda Reynolds has held talks with airport management and says the Morrison government is funding the RAF airfield portion of the upgrade to cater for the new F-35 Joint Strike Fighters.
Defence is funding the defence component of the runway upgrade, and that work will start mid-year.
The ANZ Bank has reportedly withdrawn funding support for the Port of Newcastle due to its reliance on coal exports. The bank's climate change policy prevents it lending money to the coal sector. The NAB has stepped into the breach but will only continue funding the port if it transitions to diversified operations, including a bulk container terminal. New data from a University of Newcastle study has discovered the integral link between a sea cucumber's excrement and the survival of our coral reefs. Local researchers joined forces with Macquarie and James Cook universities using drone technology to examine an area on Heron Island Reef in Queensland. Co-author Dr. Vincent Rayolt says they were able to find out just how large an effect sea cucumbers have on the reef.
That gave us a total estimate of the poop that these animals might produce at the scale of a reef. And we ended up with a number which was mind-bogglingly large for us, which was approximately 60,000 tons of sediment every year on a single reef.
More than 1,200 workers will be busy this week carrying out rail maintenance jobs on the Hunter line between Newcastle, Ulan and Narrabri. The 4-day shutdown has started this morning to make way for track reconditioning. The Australian Rail Track Corporation says with more wet weather expected in coming months, there'll also be a focus on drainage and solid track foundations so trains can travel faster and more safely. Buses will be replacing trains on the Hunter line until Friday morning. The Aboriginal Languages Trust is offering grants to community organisations to help get the use of Indigenous languages off the ground. The $800,000 program plans to invest in established efforts as well as promote new revitalisation projects. A Wabakal Local Aboriginal Land Council CEO Robert Russell says these efforts could spell a bright future for Indigenous languages.
Well, there's been a long fight, I suppose, to have Aboriginal languages reintroduced in schools across Australia, and the obvious place to do it is in primary school. It was tried last year and we were unsuccessful, but so we're going to have another crack at it this year, and hopefully we will be successful in getting a language program financially supported.
2NURFM Sport.
Newcastle Jets interim coach Craig Deans has remained coy on the return date of star player Matt Miller as his side prepares for their clash against the in-form Brisbane Roar this Sunday. Miller is out of quarantine and back training with the side as he returned from loan to English club Shrewsbury Town last month. Former world champion Sakio Bika will relaunch his career against Australasian super middleweight champion Adam Stowe later this month. The 41-year-old has been living and training in Newcastle for the past 4 years as he searches for a third world title. The Lake Mac Attack have fallen short of defending their T20 Regional Bash title after being defeated by the ACT Aces by 4 wickets at the SCG yesterday. Newcastle Jockey Club chief Matt Benson says he plans for the secondary Beaumont track to be reopened at Broadmeadow by the end of March after a grass worm infestation forced its closure late last year. And Toronto golfer Jake Riley will compete in Adelaide today for the Australian Amateur Championship. That's sport. I'm James Paris.
And the winning numbers in Monday Lotto are 45, 39, 29, 38, 33 and 4. And the supplementaries are 24 and 13. And now you're up to date with the latest 2NURFM Hunter News.